Howdy, it's Cloudy. Go back to the channel. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't checked out the last video, do that. Today, got a video from Cosmic Wonder. The Russo bros found perfect Avengers Doomsday story for insane MCU plots. Now, I hope this ain't a lie. We've been given I know y'all saw the other video. I gave my idea of what I think they should do with the story. You know what I'm saying? So if I see any little thing with a little bit of Cloudy in it, I'm saying something.
So right now with Marvel Studios, I think the Russo brothers are the very embodiment of let them cook. In a new interview with Empire magazine, they talked about how they finally found that perfect story to tell for Avengers Secret Wars.
What's the story, man?
To really
okay, don't forget, this is coming before Spider-Man 4. Unless the Russo brothers, you know what I'm saying, they like, you know what? We got a good story. We gonna make sure this is after Spider-Man 4. So who knows? This could push the Spider-Man movie to come out before Avengers Doomsday. Hopefully,
them and make them decide to come back to the Marvel Cinematic Universe to direct and write more movies. It seems like the two of them combined with Stephen McFeely have come up with something that is just groundbreaking to anything we've seen in the MCU so far. And what they describe in this interview is that they kind of had this big aha moment, and until they had that moment, until the light bulb went off, they weren't actually going to return. But them combined with Stephen McFeely had such a legendary idea that they had to return to make it happen. And hopefully their thoughts and their ideas and their visions that they have in their heads transfer over to the screen perfectly, and we really get what they imagine on screen. Their return also marks a pretty big shift for Marvel Studios. When they decided that Robert Downey Jr. was going to return and the Russo brothers and Stephen McFeely along with him, it marked a big change in the overall plans that Marvel Studios had for the multiverse saga, but we'll get into that after this article. Let's find out the official reason why the Russo brothers decided to return to Marvel Studios to tell another story. The article itself is...
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I think the studios probably came to them, bro. We need y'all help, bro. We fucked up. We put out 2 very bad movies. We thought they was good. I'll pay y'all whatever y'all want. You know what I'm saying? You know, money don't even... Just help me, please.
On why they're returning for Avengers Secret Wars. That's a story we need to tell. It starts off by stating 2025 is set to be a big year for Marvel. After largely taking a year off in 2024, accepting the casual box office mega smash that was Deadpool and Wolverine, the MCU is back with 3 major movies in the coming months. The long-awaited Captain America Brave New World, misanthropic team-up movie Thunderbolts, and at long last...
Hey, so look, we got the stories right here. Captain America, Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four. And the Avengers movies are all going to come out in 2020. So I'm guessing 2026 and 2027 is when the Avenger movies are coming out. But if they're saying the Avenger movie is going to come out before Spider-Man, the Avengers movie might come out this year, and then Spider-Man 4 might come out next year. And then we might get Secret Wars 2027 if it don't come earlier. They're saying it's coming out in 2027, but honestly, if they're saying that, bro, how many more movies and TV shows are we going to get? Because I know they want well, it makes sense actually. Never mind, because they got to focus on the DC too. They got to bring some DC shit. You know, James
Rival of Marvel's first family and the Fantastic Four first steps.
Leads
and when you say that out loud and you think about the 3 movies that we have coming up, this really is going to be a very exciting year, especially going into 2026 and then 2027. It continues, and that's just the beginning. The current Marvel slate all leads up to Avengers Secret Wars in 2027, an outing not only bringing the return of Robert Downey Jr., this time as Dr. Doom, but also reuniting Marvel with directing duo Joe and Anthony Russo and screenwriter
I'm thinking Iron Man gonna pop back up, bro.
The A-Team is is back in a
Ain't no way
big
they
way.
just killed
And I
Iron
think
Man
that's
off
actually
like
the
that.
perfect way to state that. When you think of all the best MCU projects, the Russo
All came from
brothers
them.
and Stephen
Had
McFeely
their
and
hands on
Christopher
it.
Marcus are involved in a lot of them. You have to think all of the Captain America movies, in which all
What
were
made them want to
written by
leave?
Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely. However, the Russo
Or what
brothers
made
didn't
them
come in
leave?
until Captain America: The Winter Soldier to direct. But Captain America: The Winter Soldier is often regarded by many people as one of the best, if not the best, MCU film ever. And then, of course,
That's
we have
crazy.
Avengers:
What
Infinity
y'all,
War and
what y'all think? What's y'all favorite Marvel project? For me, I'm not gonna lie. Now, after seeing all the movies I've seen now, you know what I'm saying? Like all the new ones that came out and stuff. I think Doctor Strange 2 was probably the best Marvel, the multiverse of man. I think that was probably the best Marvel movie I've ever seen, bro. I just love the way they put that whole movie together with the other characters popping up. Or yeah, that was before. That was Spider-Man No Way Home. But the multiverse of madness, bro, was probably the best one I've ever seen, bro. That was beauty. And I don't know who made that. Was that the Russo
Avengers
brothers, bro?
Endgame, which of course
Those was
many people
beautiful, bro.
regard
I
as
don't
the
care what nobody
peak
say.
of Marvel
That movie
Studios.
was
So when you think about these
Doctor Strange 2 was
amazing
crazy.
projects, some of the best movies in the MCU, The Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame, the Russo brothers and Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely are behind all of them, along with two iconic characters and actors, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man and Chris Evans as Captain America. And now not only are they bringing back Robert Downey Jr. as Doom, but Chris Evans is returning as well. More on why this is
Yeah, he's
really
supposed to be turning
important
out
in a
like
bit.
Captain
The article
Hydra or
now
some shit,
dives
right?
into why
Hey,
exactly
my
the
face
Russos
ashy,
returned.
bro.
It states,
I just washed my
not
face.
that
I don't
returning
know
to the
lotion now.
MCU was an obvious move. Endgame was the end, and it took a little time for us to begin to think about it as something other than the end, Anthony Russo told Empire. It states, for the gang, Marvel was never too far away, even after they all left. We're very close with Kevin and Lou D'Esposito, Marvel Studios co-president, and the entire Marvel team. And we've had conversations through the years. We've talked about a lot of ideas, Anthony Russo says. And then inspiration for Secret Wars struck. Anthony Russo said, really what happened was we ended up stumbling upon an idea that activated all of us. You couldn't see it coming until it came. And once it came, it was like, well, that's a story we need to tell. But
Hey, look, hey, y'all. I don't know if they put out this statement themselves or somebody in their team put out this statement, but now they gotta live up to the name, bro. You know what I'm saying? Now they gotta live up to it, bro. If they saying this is a story, they making it seem like this is the last game in the NBA finals, bro. And it's tied up 130 to 130. And it's 10 seconds left. But it's jump ball. That's how they making it seem, bro. So I really want to see all the Ghost Rider, Blade, Magneto, Blue Beetle. I want to see all of them. You know what I'm saying? I even want to see Miles Morales. Actually, it got to be at least 130 characters in this movie, bro. And the movie got to be at least 3 hours long, bro. I'm not taking no less, bro.
it gets even more interesting.
You
The
can't
article
talk like that
continues,
and not
it
give us a
wasn't
3 hour
always
movie,
a
bro.
sure thing that the Russos and McFeely would return. Marcus is absent this time, keeping projects running at the Russos' AGBO production company. But I'm sure the Russo brothers and Stephen McFeely are still at least consulting with him since he was so involved with the previous projects and they did a great job. But Joe Russo states,
Yeah, I wouldn't
there
think
were
they'll
ideas
move
that we
along
were
without
trying
them
to
having
wrap
some
our
type
heads
of
around that
input on it.
preceded this one, and we just never found the story. But it all gelled when McFeely hit on how the Secret Wars comic arc might work in MCU form. I remember calling Steve and said, hey, crazy idea. What do you think if we all go back and do Secret Wars? Joe Russo said. You were like, F no, absolutely not. And then you hung up. And the next morning at 7:30, you called and were like, all right, I have an idea. Then it says, roll
Look
call.
at
The
this.
MCU's creative Avengers are assembling once more.
Man, hey, let me be a part of this team, homie. I'm finna hit all of them up on Instagram. Like, bro, y'all, it took y'all this long to make an idea, bro. Y'all needed somebody like me up in there. You know what I'm saying,
This is
bro?
only actually part of the interview
This is
that they have
crazy. It took them
teased.
this
The full
long,
thing
bro.
comes out on Thursday,
Man,
so we'll be sure to cover that.
you know what I think made it hard for them to push the Avengers movies? I honestly think it's because they didn't put out a Spider like because everybody knows Spider-Man's supposed to be taking the lead. You know what I'm saying? Now that Tony's gone, it's supposed to be Tom Holland Spider-Man. That's supposed to be the next Iron Man. You know what I'm saying? The next person who leads the next. You know what I mean? The fact that they didn't put out a Spider-Man 3 for Andrew Garfield, or at least a Tom Holland Spider-Man 4 before this Avengers movie, bro, I think is what's messing up their story and making it harder for them to make a story. Or maybe not. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't like reading the comics because I like to kind of learn and, go based off the movies and stuff, because that's what I actually, you know what I'm saying? But I think if they put out the Spider-Man movie first, it'll be a lot easier to set up an Avengers movie. Like, insanely easy. Because they could just, as many cameos as we heard was going to be in Spider-Man 4, bro, that sounds like a movie that should be before the Avengers movie. And that's how, because we all know it's all going to take place in New York. So why not just be like, well, Spider-Man 4, you know what I'm saying? He drew in Craven. He drew in Venom, just like in the video games. Bro, maybe Sony not trying to give him the rights to the storyline or some shit like that.
But clearly, right
Sony
now, the Russo brothers and Stephen McFeely are cooking up something.
Why not,
and
bro?
it seems like they're really eyeing the comics.
But I'm all for it, though. You know what I'm saying? The Russo brothers,
or at least a certain arc to life. And what we believe that arc to be is Doom actually trying to save the entire multiverse, but then becoming a god. And it's also important to note that according to what we know, Robert Downey Jr. was signed on to come back as Doom before the Russo brothers came on board. This is the timeline as far as we know. Robert Downey Jr. told the story himself. He revealed that he and his wife went and met with Kevin Feige, and he talked about him returning as Dr. Doom, and he said, let's get Dr. Doom right. Then they went and met with Disney CEO Bob Iger. They pitched him returning as Doom, and he loved it. And then, according to an article from Variety, Robert got the Russo brothers to return. The article says, sources say Downey, who was repped by WME, agreed to return to the MCU if the Russos, who are CAA clients, would be directed. Okay, so they were the only
Robert
ones
ain't going nowhere without these.
Says a source familiar.
They must have been there. I'm pretty sure I'm not sure 100% to take what I'm saying with a bucket of salt. You know what I'm saying? They probably was there when he first got his role, when he first got, his first role in Marvel. They were probably the reasons why he actually got the role. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't see nobody just coming back and spinning the block like, bro, I'm not coming back unless they coming back. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's some real loyalty right there. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking they had something like that going on before in the past, and that's why he's like, bro, I'm with them, bro. They the best ones for it. Like, they got me here. They'll get us through this too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so when the Russo brothers were debating on whether to come back or not, they were already locked in with Doom. Whether they liked it or not, Robert Downey Jr. was returning as Doom. Which is fine because Doom is very heavily involved with both Secret Wars stories in the comics. But since it's Robert Downey Jr. returning to play Dr. Doom, and we literally have a movie titled Avengers Doomsday, Doom is going to be probably the most prominent character out of every character we're gonna see in Doomsday.
It seemed like it.
Dr. Doom, and he's probably the most paid as well. So the story really is going to focus on what Doom is doing in the multiverse. And the simplistic story that they could do in the MCU is that Dr. Doom is trying to save the multiverse with Molecule Man, much like he does in the comics.
Bro, but okay. This is why I guess it's good Fantastic Four is coming out. So is it gonna be a Doctor Doom from that Fantastic Four? Because that would only make sense, you know what I'm saying? Depending on how that story is, because the stories we got, Doctor Doom was just evil. You know what I'm saying? What would make him want to save everybody? I mean, I guess it's like, well, if I save everybody, I also save myself. So I mean, I ain't really trying to save everybody, but I guess that's what I'm doing anyway. What if it's one of those situations, like he really not a hero, but he's deemed and seen as a hero because he has to save everybody to save himself, or save somebody he loves, you know what I'm saying? Or a couple people he loves on the planet, which means he got to save everybody that's on the planet,
At the end of it all, they can't save the multiverse, so they take the remnants of pieces left over from other universes, put them together, and make Battleworld, in which God Emperor Doom rules. And he has part of the powers of the Beyonders because Molecule Man gives it to him. So that's the...
Wait, Battleworld is where Loki and them... Is it where Loki and them ended up at in his show when where all the junk went out, wherever the case is? Was that Battle World,
Straightforward
bro?
story that happens in
Where
the
he met all
comics,
the
but
other
knowing the
Lokis and shit?
Russo brothers and Stephen McFeely, they've got some
Y'all know what
twists
I'm
and
talking
turns
about?
for us ready. This isn't just going to be a shot-for-shot comic adaptation. It never is. They clearly have something really big cooking. I'm sure we're still going to get God Emperor Doom,
I'm excited
but right
for
now the
this thing,
question
man.
is, how
I
exactly
just
does
wonder
he
how all
become
these
God
characters
Emperor
gonna
Doom?
come
Are they going
connected.
to involve the Beyonders? Are they going to make it to where Doom takes over all of what Kang has done before, including the TVA, and makes it to where he literally secludes not just one universe, but one world where he watches over and kind of becomes the He Who Remains over the one thing that is left? There's lots of twists and turns that they
Would
could
that?
give us, and I am really excited to see what they come up with, because it does seem like, based on what we just heard from this interview, they had some big aha moment where some big epic idea came into their brains, the light bulb went off, and they went, that's how we
Is
do it. Let's return
is
to
Loki
Marvel
gonna let
and tell this
let all
story.
this
And I
happen?
wouldn't be surprised, and I
Cause ain't he
know
the
that
one
Robert
holding
Downey
all of
Jr.
the?
and the
You know what I mean?
Russos all said that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be playing Victor Von Doom, not a Tony Stark variant, but I still wouldn't be surprised if they do address the fact that he looks like Tony Stark, which is something that I definitely think they should address.
What if
And
they
I
say
think they
like
are going to
that's his
address this,
brother or some
because
shit?
what Marvel has done by bringing all of these people back is essentially revert back to what worked before in the Infinity Saga. They're bringing Chris Evans back, Robert Downey Jr. back. New reports say that Scarlett Johansson is returning, and we recently heard a rumor from the insider My Time to Shine Hello that Pepper Potts is going to return in Avengers Doomsday as well. Now,
Oh,
she is
bet.
in charge of Stark Industries, or at least so we believe she still
Is she
is.
gonna be
So there
wearing
are
this
reasons to bring her
suit?
back, but I think the main reason you would bring her back is because she would see Doctor Doom and realize that he looks exactly like Tony Stark. So going back to what worked before, having the same actors essentially lead.
Bro, he really just gonna kill off Iron Man like that, bro? That shit is painful, bro. I'm not going, bro. They could easily find a way to make him turn back into the, bro. I feel like that gauntlet should have been what changed him. Everybody thought he was dead, but he actually just ended up changing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. And then Peter Parker would be the reason why he changed back. You know, Peter Parker, Pepper Potts' daughter. You know what I mean? Bro, I don't like how they just killing off my guy like
the
that,
MCU
bro.
again, because it made a
And I
ton
don't
of
want them to
money and the
recast Iron Man.
audiences just absolutely loved the final product that we got, which was
I
Infinity
don't,
War
it'll still be a
Endgame.
good
Combine
movie, I'm
that with
sure,
one
but
of
it's
the
just,
best
man, I
Marvel
love Iron Man.
characters ever to exist and some crazy twists and turns and multiverse stuff. This movie, or these movies, both Doomsday and Secret Wars, should be insane. And they most certainly should work. They should be amazing.
And what they doing with
movies.
Shang-Chi?
But go ahead, let me know your thoughts about this in the comments down below. What do you think they could possibly twist for Doctor Doom's story from Avengers Secret
Hey
Wars?
man, what y'all think? Y'all think Iron Man should be coming back as Robert Downey Jr. and not somebody else? Because I don't think Iron Man should be killed off like that. But I don't know, man. Y'all like the script so far, man? The Russo brothers are back. That's always a good sign. You know what I'm saying? We just heard Russo brothers pretty much made all the very good movies all the movies we loved in Marvel. They pretty much had a hand in it. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate them. So if they back, we can expect a good story, a good script, some pretty good cameos, etc., etc.